Okay, this is the new 50-watt machine. It's got also got a lockout switch on there, so the actual lid has to be down, otherwise the laser won't work. We've put a safety switch on there so that the keys can be removed, so if a teacher or somebody has got it, they can keep away from the kids. Okay, the laser tube is longer. It actually sticks out onto the end there, because this is an 50-watt machine. Got the heavier mirrors. Okay, comes standard with the USB cable, power cable, the CD which you require to run your software from, your dongle which is to use with software, the height focus square on a little bit of roller tape. The other two things we have are the water pump and the air pump. These have already had the two fittings attached to them. Okay, these are our water inlet, water outlet and air inlet. The air inlet straightforward goes into the air pump. The two water ones go into the water pump. The water inlet will come from the top of the water pump and then be going back into our bucket. The water pump sits in the bucket. Our bucket is there, full of water. Now, in the water, it's ideal is to put some radiator coolant. Doesn't have to be dark green and that thick, it just has to be a little bit in there, just a slightly of colouring, just enough to actually stop any mould or that growing inside your laser tube. And that water bucket, the bigger the bucket, the cooler it keeps, and the better the laser it keeps cool. So that's your coolant bucket, and that must be flowing before you start cutting. Easy way to check: lift up your return line, and you should have water coming out of it to use it. Okay. That is the symbol for parallel. So we're setting up, if you were setting up the machine or tuning up the machine, these area surfaces must be parallel. First, your front frame must be parallel with your rear frame, which must also be parallel to your cross floating head which the laser runs along on, and also parallel to the back of your cutting honeycomb tray and the front of your cutting honeycomb tray. As well as that, it must be parallel. This left hand side must be parallel to the right hand side rail, which also must be parallel across there for your laser head rail also to the left hand side of the honeycomb tray must be parallel to the right hand side of the honeycomb tray. This is a digital protractor. This is the ideal tool to use when you are setting up your laser. The reason being, if surface that you're on is not level, you can actually hit the other button. See, that's forward 0.4, so you can actually hit this other one. That will give you an alternate 0, and that will make it all say that everything is 0 in that plane. So then you can just transfer that, everything will be 0. Excellent way to go to set up on that machines. Okay. To set up all these, I use a digital meter level, or you can use a normal level like this. You can actually see how far off the bubble is there, or you can work off the little point of that. As the laser head is not adjustable for height, we build everything back from there. So the ideal of the laser head, as you can see, it's about 2 to 3 millimeters off that top surface there, which is about the same height as our target there. So 2 to 3 millimeters when it is parallel, our laser head should be down about 2 to 3 millimeters. Whereas all the other mirrors, the mirror here between the target area of that mirror and the back mirror, should be all parallel. Setting of the second mirror. So we go to the second mirror and we run a straight edge from the top surface here to the top surface of the number 1 mirror there, which is the frame. Now that with the straight edge on there, we should have a parallel there, should be parallel to the top of that, which is that means the top of the mirrors are parallel to the surface. And the last mechanical height adjustment is on the tube itself. Try to get the tube parallel or flat. Try not to have it tilted up or down to go into the, and you will test that by when you do a test fire, you will test fire that it should be in the center of that mirror there. That's your target area as per the standard setup for testing mirrors. Okay, we've got our masking tape on there in the centre of the aperture, which is aiming at the mirror. So we try to aim to get in the centre of that. We'll test fire now, which is pretty close. It's probably just off to one side, but that's where we want it, somewhere about halfway up, nearly towards the middle, as close to the middle as we can.